Okay, share the link for the live. Okay, Ambassador Princess, is the chief guest person with us?
Yes.
Reverend Ambassador is there?
Reverend Abazin?
I'm seeing only Abigail. Abigail, how are you? Hello, Abigail.
Hello, sorry, I was trying to unmute myself. Good
Oh,
morning, everyone, and I'm so excited to be here today. Nice to meet everyone. A lot of love from Liberia.
okay, Abigail. The link has been shared in the group.
Reverend Abazin, you are not there, John.
You can also share the link on your Facebook page for your
Okay,
viewer.
certainly.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going back on mute, and I'm gonna do the sharing.
Okay, no issue.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Student Organization Democrats under the aegis of Division of Student Welfare, Lovely Professional University. We are presenting here a very unique concept, Black Discrimination Law, which is usually very much relevant topic to discuss. Nowadays, we are living in a global society. We are living together with different culture peoples, different color peoples, but we never actually think about it in a more precise manner. Today here, we are joining with some best African debaters who will provide us insight, a very relevant insight on this very topic, what is black discrimination is all about. All the viewers who are watching us live on YouTube, we welcome you, and here I'll share the screen with one of the most best personality, Princeton B. Bowman. Over to you, Princeton.
Thank you very much, CEO of Democrats, one of the young, vigilant young guy who usually there for education, who prioritize education, and he believed that there should be justice and equality when it comes to the doctrine of education. So I'm very happy and humble for you giving me such opportunity so that I can serve as a host for our speakers from Africa. Today we will be speaking on issue of our diversity view that the issue regarding black discrimination has been something that everyone in this world have problem and concern with. There has been an issue on the 20th century where our forefathers, before doing the time, they had issue when it comes to black discrimination. But then when we look at today, 21st century, we look at United States, we look at Canada, we look at Australia, UK, there has been huge, when I say huge, there's been high degree of black discrimination. Not only black discrimination, even the brown colors have been discriminated also in certain area. So we will be joined with a lot of scholars from Africa who will be giving their view, their analysis, how they feel about black debate, how they feel about black discrimination. So we have along with us Abigail. Abigail, she's one of the student activists, and she hails from West Africa, to be precise, Liberia. So we will turn this to Abigail, wherein she will start the black debate, giving her view and analysis how she feels about black debate.
Okay, thank you so much. Good morning to everyone. Like he said, my name is Abigail BL Freeman, and I come from Liberia. And in Liberia, I serve as president of the NEMA Student Union from 2015 to 2018. And also, I serve as a change agent of the YMCA of Liberia. And currently, I'm a student of criminal justice at the Amy Zion University, a 2020 Dinah Award recipient, and also a 2020 She Game Award recipient from the All African Student Union due to my advocacy for social justice and academic freedom on the African continent. Thank you so much, and it's an honor to be on this platform today. And I hope that we'll be able to share our ideas when it comes to the issue of Black discrimination across the world. As we all know, this is something that have lasted from generation to generation. And as young people, how do we abolish discrimination that we face on a daily basis simply because of our color? So I'd like to say thank you to the organizer of this debate, and we hope to discuss lengthily the topic that is being projected to be discussed today. Thank you. Hello?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Abigail, yeah, I'm getting you. Abigail, thank you very much. A lot of students are waiting for John. They're asking me. So, all right, Abigail, can you tell us about how you feel as African and seeing people in the Western world, even in your country, like where you hail from, and sitting there monitoring the platform on television or social media, seeing Black being discriminated? How do you feel?
Sometimes it's so frustrating. Imagine you being born into the world, and the very day that you do your first cry, the very day you open your mouth to cry for breast milk or for other food, you are being labeled because of the color of your skin. So it's so frustrating. Like of recent, the situation involving George Floyd in the US, and I was part of some of the team that organized the solidarity protests in Liberia to see how we can protect our race. Because for what I have been like seeing from past instances on the TV, I'm like, it's like there's war that is being waged against our race from generation to generation. And it will be so frustrating if we don't step up as young people in every walks of life to stand in solidarity with Black people. Because no matter what, we have the same blood, Black, white, any other race, we have the same blood. If you tear our skin today, you won't see a different blood. You just see that same red blood flowing. So what's the issue that another race would think they are more superior than us? Is it because of our geographical location? I don't just get it. So, like on a daily basis, when I see a Black man is being marginalized, or Black man is being insulted, or Black man rights is being violated simply because he's a Black man, simply because she's a Black woman, is so disappointing, and it's also provoke a lot of spirit in us. But you know why? We will always use the opportunity to look at it on a positive aspect. We will never be violent as young people. We always discuss the issue of Black discrimination positively, and we'll always work hard to see how we can keep advocating for a balance between every race. It's not just Black and white, but people from all walks of life, to see how all lives can matter rather than one life matters more than other lives.
Okay, Abigail, 2009 to 2017, one African hailed from Kenya, father hailed from Kenya, and his mother hailed from the United States of America, was revealed through the dream of Martin Luther King, where he said, one day the Black will lead and the white will bend down to the Black. And this man called Barack Hoxie Obama, coming to the presidencies in 2009, or do you think his presidencies was like an opportunity for the Black people voice to be heard in America? And spending 8 years in his presidency, still we talk about Black discrimination in America. What do you think?
The truth is, the system have already been set up in a way that if even you bring a pure Liberian from Liberia, you tell them go and serve as the US president, and they manage to serve as the US president, they will do all they can, but they will not effect the kind of change they want to effect when it comes to the issue of Black marginalization and discrimination, because the system have already been built in a way to discriminate Black people from the onset of the American history. They already erected the checkpoint and they drew the line. So no matter how Black or person may be and they come into leadership, they're going to strive, they're going to fight. But the typical American, the American Congress, the legislature, they are racist from the bottom of their heart. They will come to Africa, they will go to other countries with humanitarian stuff, with charity stuff, but deep down in their hearts, they are racist. They only do these things maybe to get money from charity and other people, but no matter what you do, these people will always be racist. So Barack Obama, being of African descent, came over and served as president for 8 years. I know that he battled the issue of color bias, but no matter what, these people are mold. People who are making decisions in Congress, they are also mold. So he alone could not do all. To some extent, he tried, but the expectations of we Africans weren't met. And for me, politically, I don't hold him responsible because he's the president, but he worked with all the branches of government, and he alone cannot effect the change we want to see as Black people, because he's also being fight politically by some other racist individual. So we should just understand the concept that the system has already been built, the system have already been corrupted. So no matter what you do, if you just take this person, bring this person back, the same principle are still being implemented by those racist, those racial figures that have already been operating in a system from generations to generations. That's how I see it.
Okay, we will come back to you. We have so many things to share with you, and you also have so many things to share with us today on the Black Debate Show, hosted by Lovely Professional University, one of the biggest, it's a biggest university in India and #1 private university. And this debate is being hosted by student organization Democrats, where one of the astute son of India serving as the CEO, Mr. Sanjay Bafnat. Okay, let's speak to student leader Ambassador Princess Tilo. Ambassador Princess Tilo, what's your talk? Let's discuss about Black discrimination.
Good afternoon and good evening to everyone in and out of India, Liberia, and Africa, and the world as whole. We are discussing about Black discrimination today. In my thought, I think that we are all born to be one. We are all having the same blood. We all have the same and different mindset. We all came from one place. We all came through the birth of a woman. So I think that discrimination in the world should stop. All humans are equal. All humans have the same thinking of doing one thing to bring a betterment to the world. Black discrimination within the world is a very bad thing. It brings in war, it brings in setback, it brings in segregation, it brings in bad feeding, it brings in a lot of things that people would thought or think of about doing to themselves. Because if you take, for example, they have a school that dominated by white, and a Black girl or a Black boy go to that particular school, they feel discriminated. They call them all sort of, they call them monkey, they call them baboons, they call them all sort of things. Then they go home, they create mental problems. Being discriminated amongst the white, it brings in very mental problem to that person or that individual that is amongst you guys.
Okay, thank you very much. We are already talking about Black discrimination here, and Abigail, student leader Abigail, 2016, there was a strange thing happening in the United States of America, wherein President Donald Trump was pronounced as president of the United States of America defeating Hillary Clinton. And people say President Trump used the phenomena of racism and to win or overwhelm the vote of the people of America. But then when Trump came, Trump decided to build war between America and Mexico. So can you give me any talk of this? Because the Mexican too, they are white in complexion and they have been discriminated, or certainly they have a boundary between them. So why do you think that only black are discriminated? Because I feel that like,
Okay, like I said, the issue of discrimination, racism, and other stuff, it doesn't really have to do with black. The reason we are highlighting the issue of black because on the average and from generation to generation, blacks have been on the averagely discriminated across the world. Like if you look at our history, I will come to the Trump situation. If you look at the history of the black, like Liberia, my country, Liberia was colonized by an NGO. I can say an NGO, the American Colonization Society. And people who are from Liberia today, we refer to as Liberians, they were free slaves that were taken from all across Africa. And they were taken to the US. They were treated like nothing. They were used to build houses for their slave master. Our ladies were used as prostitutes. And there are a lot of illegal activities that were carried out with these black people. Imagine that. And later on, when these people were growing powerful in our community and the white saw it as a threat to them, they took them, the Americans, not just the white, they took them, they brought them over to Liberia. They bought this piece of land and they named it Liberia today. So that tells you from generation to generation, the Europeans came here. They took black people to go and build our cities, to go and build our country. The same the Americans did here, and a lot of people did the same with even the Indians and other people around the world. So the issue of black discrimination, we are not just talking about African, but on the average, Africans are the one being affected on a daily basis, even up to modern day. Africans are the one being affected simply because of their color. The issue of Trump winning election, I can tell you for 100%, Trump is a racist figure. He practiced racism at a very high degree. And for the issue of Mexico building war against building war between America and Mexico, one, it was because of the increase of drugs and violence and other illegal activities going on in America. And as per the research that was conducted by Trump and his team, they believe many of these activities were being given birth to by Mexicans. And they believe that many of these illegal immigrants that come to America on a daily basis are also coming from Mexico. So that's the reason he decided, how can we minimize this situation? Let's build a war between America and Mexico. I don't believe the issue of building a war between America and Mexico was 100% racist. No, I don't believe so. But trust me, if it was a black country that have pure black bordering with America, long time there could have been a serious measure put into place to erect a checkpoint between that country and America. Trust me, if it was Liberia, if it was Ghana, if it was Nigeria, but then there could have even been an electronic fence that if even you go close to it, you get shocked between that country and America. So just imagine the two situations. If Mexico was a black country, but then long time there could have been serious measure. But the reason that war was being built between the two countries was because of illegal substances being smoothed to America through Mexico and many stuff that led to the pronouncement of Trump building war between Mexico and America. I don't believe it was because of racial reason and other stuff. I don't want to believe that.
Princess Teal, we heard from student leader Abigail Freeman calling Trump a racist. So what's the part about this?
For me, my thinking is that Trump, I don't think Trump is a racist in my thinking because He's actually a man of rules. He's actually a man of law. He loves to do what is right. He loves to do and tell people to do what is right. So, and on the other hand, the white people always love to be superior over the black, and which of course that is one of the issues that we are facing within the war, because the black cannot always be the one who to salute the white. The black shouldn't be the ones who always to run the white man country. That's why the ideas of the white, they uses that to bring down the blacks so that they always can be superior over them. The denigration of blacks, there are too many in the United States, in India. Even for example, I myself, many days when I go on campus or any part of India, sometimes I face discrimination. Sometimes you go to shop to buy something, another Indian man is standing by there that would rather serve that Indian man and then leave you out because of why we don't have the same color. So black discrimination in the war for Trump is for both sides because he's a man of law, he's a man of rules. If you do what is right, he doesn't have time for you. If you do what is wrong, that's the time he gets on your back to do what is wrong and what is right. That's my thought on that.
Okay. In 2014, a 12-year-old Tamar Reis, a 12-year-old Tamar Reis. Tamar Reis was playing with his gun, play tall gun, like usually in Liberia we call play tall gun. And Tamar Reis was killed by two police officers in the United States, 12 years old, African, called Tamar Reis. Timothy Lamin was one of those who shoot Tamar Reis. That police was sentenced for 14 years. And according to experience or observation or research, this police officer had been sentenced for 14 years. But after 2 years within the 14 years, he was put on a leave wherein the time frame that was allocated according to the legal proceedings or the judgment could not materialize. So, Abigail, do you think it's like discrimination or not discrimination?
That is discrimination to the higher degree. And in fact, I think I was also doing a research and I came across the Taman Ray story. And
Okay.
I think in December 2020, this one December, the Justice Department said it was closing the investigation into the case. And they said that there's not enough evidence to bring federal criminal charges and other stuff. So that tells you that that is a high level of discrimination. If even a kid is holding a real gun, you got as a trained police officer, because before you become a police officer, you got to be trained physically, you got to be trained mentally, because you're going to be carrying a gun. So that's why you are trained mentally to have control no matter what worst situation you find yourself in. So Tamaris did not deserve to die. That kid did not deserve to die. But they chose to kill him simply because of the color of his skin. That's the same thing we're saying. And recently, let me just bring this to your attention. Recently, I was telling some colleagues, I said, what happened with supporter of Trump going at the White House? Trust me, if it was black that went over there in that number, they could have shot them dead. Trust me, they could have shot them there without any mercy. That tells you the high level of discrimination between the white and the black in the US. Like I always say, in the heart of every white man, they are very discriminative. In the heart of every white man, they will always prioritize someone who has a white color over a black person. And that's just the issue with Tamar Race. At the final analysis, that boy is dead. He didn't get the kind of justice he's supposed to get because he was murdered. That is a first degree felony, and that officer should have even gone to jail for lifetime imprisonment. But look at the kind of excuse that were given for them. for the fact that they not even validate whether this gun was real or not. They shot that little boy. So the issue of discrimination have been transitioned from the olden days slavery to the modern day slavery. The judiciary now have been used as one of the tools for this to implement the kind of discrimination that happened in the days of old. Because in modern day, it will look odd if you go and get someone put chains on their hands, put chains on their leg, and force them to do a piece of job. It will look odd because there are a lot of human rights and civil rights institutions around the world. So they have decided to change the concept of discrimination, and that's applied to the modern day murder, the violence that is being perpetrated against the Black people at every walks of life, especially in the Western country.
Okay, let's put the issue of marriage
These are just
into.
normal form of slavery, high level of
Okay,
discrimination
let's
that
put
is coming from the belly of
let's
the
put that
devil, is
issue
being
into our
implemented
doctrine,
against our
our
race.
country doctrine. Okay, or Abigail, Abigail, do you think that such crime can be committed in Liberia, in your country, Liberia, by uh foreigner? Let's say by foreigner. Do you think your justice system in Liberia could implement sentence as a result of this ethnic crime being committed?
Um,
Do you have the judicial review legal systems in your country? Right?
the problem with
In
my the problem
Mm. Okay,
the
okay.
problem with the problem with the Black continent and the African continent prioritize the white more than their own people. That's one of the reasons the white will keep thinking that they are superior than us. It happened in a situation like this current justice minister. Those days he used to serve as a lawyer. It happened in a situation wherein this boy was working for a Lebanese who is also having a white collar, and then they had some misunderstanding, and he was murdered by the Lebanese. And I tell you that our justice system, the Liberian justice system, allowed the Lebanese to work scot-free without passing a non-guilty verdict. So it tells you, and not just that's not just it. On a daily basis, crimes are being perpetrated against Liberians by foreigners. Foreigners have hired Liberians to do some piece of job, and those Liberians were not paid. They ran to courts, they ran to other entities that they believe could give them justice. But at the end of the day, because our justice system are so corrupt and they prioritize those who have the white collar more than their own people, they decided to marginalize their own people and set those foreigners free. So these are the causes of Black discrimination. And in my presentation, we will get to that. Because our African people, my brother, take a look in our community. If I go to Ganta, where I'm from today, walking in the street of Ganta, you will not see many people coming to me and shaking my hands and doing other things. But let me go Ganta with 3 or 4 white person. You will see everyone coming on the street to see us, everyone coming on the street to interact with them. That shows that the perception of the African people have not been transformed. And once our minds are not transformed, we will keep allowing ourselves to be slave, to be discriminated upon by the white supremacy, who we call the white people.
Okay, thank you very much. Now we have with us one of the student leader, my comrade, a brilliant young guy who hails from Bon County. To be precise, is located in Liberia. Our student leader Paul K. Kakula. Welcome to Indian #1 private university, Love the Professional University platform. Yale equality and justice is prioritized in the interest of the majority and the named it. So I come back today, we discussing about Black discrimination, and that topic is like a worldwide topic where everyone giving their top views. Researchers are doing research, scholars are writing articles, and people are doing research on a daily basis. So today you are here to share with us your feeling, your thought as an African and being discriminated everywhere. So, comrade, you are welcome on this show. Oh, we just lost him. We just lost him. Hey, okay, we have one of our brother, Mr. Korto. Mr. Korto, are you there? Hello? Is there something issue regarding? Hello, Mr. Korto. Daniel Korto, are you there? Okay. Abigail.
Yeah.
Today is Abigail. Abigail, we have a girl who was 20 years old. She was also murdered. Okay, okay, Abigail, I'm coming back to you. It's a
Okay.
part. You are welcome. On the platform to share your view on Black discrimination. Omar, you have to unmute the mic. Okay, now you are welcome.
Okay. Am I clear?
Yes, we are getting you.
Yeah, let me say a very big thank you for the up. Let me extend my greetings to the comrades. Sorry that I just got in.
Abigail, please.
It's a honor. Yeah, I've gotten some feedback. Am I in?
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, like I was saying, I say it's my honor, distinguished pleasure to join you guys. I listened to the deliberation from our sister Abigail. I must admit, she's excellent. She's on course. Because I come from Liberia, and as a Liberian citizen, born here, growing here, and I know day-to-day activities of our Liberian society and how the society works with the black and white supremacy, the discrimination of our people by the predominantly the Lebanese and the Indian. To this topic, we now want to narrow it to a particular national, but because of the gravity of the crime committed against the black people by this particular group of people, we will let to use them as a case study in our day-to-day deliberation on this particular topic. She was excellent on some of the cases she outlined. We here will follow majority of these cases, will follow majority of these daily activities when it comes to black discrimination. And we cannot in any way discuss black discrimination or white supremacy in a broader context. We're all narrowing it down to our Liberian society. We're all narrowing it down to our day-to-day experience. And because that will elevate our arguments in a bigger deliberation, in a bigger debate. So I was listening to her a while. Like, I'm not into other world, but I think she got a broad understanding of the Liberian society, how it works, and how our people are being mightily treated by these people who have been given first preference and recognition, then quote unquote, even our own black fellows who are working with them. And even I was doing some research, like you said, because this topic is a global topic and it's been discussed all across the world. To be frank and to admit, we might just feel in the Liberian society we are confronted with this situation as compared or more than other countries in our neighboring countries. Like we're reading on black discrimination and white supremacy in the Sierra Leone, the Africa Coast, and things. Right now, as we speak, we have over 16 to 17 cases just in 1 week time in court. And the how you call the government are pressurizing the judicial system to adjudicate these cases because of the discrimination, the maltreatment, people, the white supremacy, the white are discriminating the black, though they work with them, and they are even They devote their time to be able to generate money, to generate funding for them to run their businesses. By the end of the day, a lot of maltreatment and salary delay or non payment or salary to dismiss the guys sometimes, and I want to pay them because of what some low minor reasons. So I kind of like, wow, why are these things happening, and why is it that our society has been so polarized with these white supremacy and white discrimination, and sometimes our very government, particularly in Africa, so side with these things, and they see it as not a major concern to be able to address. So sometimes I wonder, is it really? I want to ask my colleague Prince. Is it really in Africa, or is it in India that you reside, and other people who are online in other Western countries and in the Western world? Is the black discrimination that you know? You was here in Liberia. You are a Liberian. Is the black discrimination that you know currently ongoing, and that was ongoing when you were here, and currently you are aware of what is unfolding with the black and white and supremacy? Is it really the scene, if you're doing a comparison and comparative analysis, is it the scene in Africa, in Liberia, as compared to the current country you stay in? That one question I would like to ask. But on the overall, if we have to have a debate to discuss this topic on a broader spectrum, I would tell you that sometimes I feel so bad and sickening on the way our black brothers and sisters are being treated across the world. I don't know, is it because of the color of our skin? Is it because of our financial potency? Is it because of the geographical location or balance of our continents? These are questions that come to my mind. But on a global level and on the global knowledge, the perception that we have as black people, I would also like to narrow down arguments on sometimes the way we treat ourselves, the way we engage ourselves, the way we treat those guys, the way we behave to them, the courtesy and the respect that we give to them when it comes to our continent, come to our countries in Africa. I have not seen it. I have not traveled in the Western world, but I have people who encounter this and XYZ across. But sometimes these people come here, we treat them as demagogues, we give them all the courtesy and respect. I don't know, we do it out of inferiority complex or do we do it because we are not that worthy? We don't have that financial potency to be able to stay out there or what? So that was the question I wanted to ask my colleague who are in the Western world, who have been traveling across. What is their experience that they are had as compared to the experience that we have here on a day-to-day basis with these guys? Are we just subjecting ourselves to them because of the texture of the skin or because of the resources that we have? And if we be discussing resources, do we not have that resources in Africa to be able to get ourselves balanced, to be able to seen in return? Is it being reciprocated by these people and white supremacy? Or is it because of our continent that is so rich and is so blessed abundantly with natural resources and whatsoever, because we want to leave all of them here and go out there and suggest ourselves to them? So at the end of the day, they will maltreat us. Even when they come here, they believe
Okay, our brother Paul is,
them for their
create.
citizen.
Okay, comrade,
Hello?
go ahead, continue.
Hello?
Yes, hello.
Hello?
Yes, we are getting you.
Yeah, somebody try to carry how they want to do it. They want to inject or something or stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, just okay. You posted a question as whether if I am your comrade in the Western world, maybe precisely in India, or you are asking me as whether I am currently feeding or seeing black being discriminated, right? Okay, Kumberpore
Yeah,
in
very well.
yeah, I currently my location is India, but I believe in the philosophical analysis of the late role model Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi said, "I went to Africa and I was happy to live in Africa." He said, "I live in the beautiful city of Victoria in South Africa, wherein I was not discriminated." He said, "No day I was discriminated." And I came back to Asia to tell the Asian that there must be no discrimination. So based on this philosophical analysis, I came to India and I've been seeing that I've been living here like I'm from India, though I've lived since I came to India. But other people complain about this. Other people complain about discrimination. But for me, I feel that I'm an Indian, yeah, because I have not been discriminated. So I thank you very much. We will come back to you.
No,
You can.
your point. I got your point. You are not personally as an individual being discriminated, like you said. My question is on the overall, the general average, is the country you reside in currently, are they discriminating black and stuff? I'm talking about you particularly as an individual while you experience it, but I'm talking about the overall, the general average.
Okay. When you're talking about the general average, and I will tell you, yes, other people complain about discrimination, like in the northern part of India, when the COVID-19, an African who were hungry in the hostel, he decided to go purchase food outside. And those guys decided to beat on him. No Indian security decided to beat on him until he was admitted to the hospital. Later, he died. He lost his life. So other people being discriminated. But I can tell you discrimination is all over. It's all over. But discrimination against black is a major issue that the world experiencing. So now we will talk to you back. We'll come back to you. Uh, in our midst, we have our chief guest who just entered, though he was supposed to be here to open the debate. Reverend Ambassador, you are welcome to Indian #1 private university, lovely professional university. So today we are talking about black discriminations. And we would like to learn from you as an experiment, someone who been in the system, someone who understands the inner motive when it comes to black discrimination. So, sir, you are mostly welcome.
Thank you. And the name remain constant. Reverend Samuel F. Abasin. Um, I'm grateful to God that all of us can be discussing this, but I'm not saying any white person among us also black. Let me register that first. But when we talk about discrimination or black discrimination, the first thing that comes to mind is that the individual orientation of people, growth, and development help to shape their general worldview about life as well as other people. Everyone has an education and cultural background that is influenced by the social, political, and economic environment. And that serves as filter to analyze the world. Thus, the term discrimination or black discrimination refers to the unjust treatment of other individuals or groups on the grounds of specific features. People can be discriminated on the basis of a number of aspects, including sex, gender, race, age, skin color, physical feature, disability, health problems, and sexual orientation. So black discrimination is the unfair or the unjust treatment of black people or groups of black people on based on circumstances such as race, gender, age, or sexual orientation. Black discrimination can be dated as far back as the 16th and the 17th century. Imperial powers formed ways to justify the barbaric slave trade or slave system and the invasion, colonization, and the, to improve, let me say, to extend their worth or for the expansion of their worth. Like Great Britain, we talk about America, we talk about France. But today, when you talk about black discrimination, you are talking about something that is global. It's a global problem. To me, it's more than the coronavirus we're talking about. One way of the other, all of us believe that all men were created equal. But even in the church that we go to, I'm a reverend, when the church is dominated by white people, the blacks are discriminated. When we go to school, now how are you saying that you have not been discriminated in India? Thank God for that, or glory be to God for that. But when we go to school where we see white people dominating and black people are not in the majority, we are discriminated. In the marketplaces, at the job site, anything that is associated with evil is printed black. We draw angels and make them white. We draw Jesus Christ and make him white. We draw Satan and make him black. We draw demons and make them black because in the white man's mind, he believes that anything associated with evil has to be black. So when we talk about black discrimination, it's all over. The recent killing of George Floyd makes us to know that America is no longer the United States. America is a nation of inequality and racial division. We go on the football field. Since one black man from Liberia became war-based, for decades, we have not seen any black man becoming war-based. And you could just go on and on talking about this black discrimination. People have advocated, Martin Luther King Jr., you talk about Harriet Tubman and other people have advocated concerning or against this black discrimination, but we still see the blacks being discriminated. Let me not take the floor. Let me allow you to talk.
Okay, Reverend Ambassador, when you were talking, I decided to do the little research on the boy called Michael Brown. Michael Brown was 18 years old. Michael was working in the street of California along with his friend. And the officer came from the back of Michael and decided to shoot Michael. When they asked the officer said, I did die for self-defense. What was the charge against Michael? Nothing. And today, the officer decided to leave the police. And there has been no charges against the officer. There has been no penalty against such officer. So my question to you is, a white man who entered Liberia, who is within your church, Reverend Ambassador Church, who pay offering like around 200, 300 USD, having to, kill someone like this way, this identical Michael Brown was killed. What would be your defense as Reverend? you go to the legal system to tell the legal system because of the man is with him at charge, I'm asking for justice for him, what will be your stand?
But okay, the first thing is what led to this white man killing a black man, right? The man is supporting my church, but that does not give me the right to back him in the wrong. If the law says that when you kill someone, you should be killed or you should be prosecuted, I will not back the white man because that will break down my ministry. And we see that even in Liberia, we see the Lebanese man is treated as VIP than other people, other business people. Other people down there will go and do their registration, but the Ministry of Commerce will work or will walk to the Lebanese man. There are workers working with the Lebanese men who have been underpaid, who have been surprised, marginalized, but yet nothing is being done about it because in the white man's mind, he's superior and the black man is nothing. So if I'm in that kind of case, I will not back the white man. I will let the law take its course. And I will be respected for that.
Okay, Reverend will come back to you. You can mute your mic. We'll come back to you. Student leader Joe Taman. Joe, are you there? Okay, this is a comrade who usually I see on his Facebook page posting one of the youngest revolutionary politicians of Africa, Bobby Wine. And I usually see this comrade supporting social justice and equality. So today I'm happy to host this personality on Indian #1 private university platform. Like Reverend Basi, you just said, no white man among us. No, we hide. This is just like the Google meeting, and more than hundreds of thousands people watching you on the LPU live platform. So this is just a room for we, the debater, and then the rest is being done over there. So Jotan, comrade, you are mostly welcome to share with us your thoughts on Black discrimination on a global level. Comrade, you have to unmute. You have to unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. We are not getting you. You have to unmute yourself. You have to unmute yourself. No, you have to unmute yourself on the phone. Okay, let's talk to student leader Daniel Korto. Mr. Daniel Korto, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, sir.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to introduce to you one of our best speaker of the day, a son of Liberia. His father was one of our time serving as Minister of Education. So if we're discussing education in our country, we sometimes count on the Korto family. So Mr. Korto, you are welcome on Indian #1 platform, which is Lovely Professional University.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
You can share with us your view on Black discrimination.
Well, firstly, let me appreciate each and every members or let me appreciate you in person for giving me this opportunity to share my views and thoughts with the world when it comes to black discrimination. Firstly, what I want you people to understand is this: we African, we we blacks, everywhere we live, every environment we live, we feel discriminated in the sense that once one or two white MO us for the fact that that individual is white, we always feel discriminated. Like take for example, for my own country, Liberia, because I've not been to some modern countries, I've not been around the world to actually know what's happened. But we do research and we read about what's going on around the world when it comes to black discrimination. Take for example, in Liberia here, we devalue ourselves as black people, as Liberian. We devalue ourselves in the sense that if you live in a community where or Lebanese or the Indian men live, you always like everybody like this guy. I mean, this white man. He's good. He does this. He does that. So he in my country, Liberia, white, I give him more privilege. I can say everything. I give him more rights because if you go to the bank, for typical example, if you get to the bank, instead of everyone going through the procedure, standing in one queue to be served, it will not be in their own case. You'll see one black lady from the counter or one teller will just walk and then pick up that Indian man or that Lebanese man paper and go and process it. And then he will walk out. And if it will cost for you to spend the whole day at that bank, you will spend your entire time at that bank. At the end of the day, you will not be served. And yesterday, we black talk about being discriminated. We devalue ourselves because if we value ourselves as black, we would not be treated the way we are treated in other countries. We treat ourselves badly. We treat ourselves in the sense that once you see white people around, you don't care about your friend black. So tell me, the people come here and learn from us and go walk away, go back to that country with the message that those people are not human beings. We behave that we are children of the lesser God. So once you see that you don't value yourself, once we don't value ourselves as blacks, you always realize that when black get back to their home, when white get back to their home, wants to see the black man, the mentality is already there that those people don't respect themselves, they don't value themselves. Take for example what happened in South Africa, where the South African were like going against their fellow Africans. They were killing the Nigerians. In fact, not just Nigerians. They were killing each and every citizen that comes from other countries that live in South Africa, asking them to leave their country. Are you killing me? We live in Africa. We all are Africans. You telling me that I don't have the right to live in your country? I don't have the right to live peacefully. You asking me to leave your country? Blacks telling blacks, leave my country in the midst of dominant white. So what message are you sending to the world? Are you telling the world that discrimination is on it against black or white men say it? Or are you telling the world that white hate us when we ourselves don't even prioritize ourselves, when we hate each and we hit one another? Think about it. I've not been to Western countries, but I read about what happened. Okay, the black man who one's father was a slave, and then he was being given birth to him or her in the United States. Once you see an African man, a typical African man, or Liberian, or Guinean, or Ghanaian, the next thing that runs to his mind, oh, this is a black man. And he would start referring to himself as, I'm a black American. Then he would start referring to somebody from Liberia or Ghana or some part of the world. Once they are black, start referring to them as, this guy is an Afro American. Are you serious? You're black. I'm a black. You refer to me in different perspective. Then you expect the white guy who, in his own mind, that we are not human being. In front of him, you tell him that we are not human beings. Because if you telling me that I'm an Afro American, then you telling yourself that, oh, I'm a black American. We the black, we are not setting any good example when it comes to discrimination. We discriminate first. We tell each other that we are not good. We just don't value ourselves. So when we don't value ourselves, you will realize that the white will always don't value us. So once we are in their midst, they will not count on us as living beings. Like the reference said that
Uh,
when you want to see,
Mr. Korto, Mr. Korto,
yeah.
the university want to see your face while speaking.
Oh, okay,
Comrade,
okay,
if you are not speaking, you put your camera off. If you are speaking, you put your camera on so that we can get the background good.
okay. Mr. Bobby, are you getting me now?
I'm getting you. Yes, yes.
Okay, like I was saying, like I was just saying, in order for us, in order for Africans to realize that discrimination or discriminating them will stop, or discrimination gonna stop, we need to value ourselves. We not value ourselves. In a sense, in my country, Liberia, the prioritize white than me. I'm telling you, I'm telling you, you will see one white man, like I was at some places like ERW Junction, like let's just say 2, 3 years ago. A white guy will a black man white for he's a store boy said, I don't know what this guy did. Instead of using the law going through the referee channel, no. He went to beat on this black guy, slapped on him, beat on him. You understand that? And then when the police came around, instead of arresting this guy, instead of arresting this Indian guy, taken to the station for investigation, no, it was like, my man, this is a boss man. This is the boss man. In fact, learn how to talk to him good. Can you imagine that? So for me, black discrimination, first the Africans, first the black people need to understand that we are all human. We need to be treated equally. And when blacks are together, we need to understand that this color we got, it was given to us by God. Let us not discriminate ourselves. Let us not say you are this kind of black person, you are this kind of black person. How can you live in Africa when I leave from here and get to Guinea, I'm thoroughly investigated where I'm coming from, where you're going, how long you're going to be here for. Then you expect when white men come to Liberia border. Let me give you another example. At border in Liberia called Logotu, I think where you Prince may hail from. Uh, you will see that you guys will be in number to the checkpoint or to that particular border point. You'll see that one, I mean, some group of tourists will come, they are all white. We are going for the same purpose in another country, but they will not be asked of passport. They will not be investigated where you guys going. No, they just pull down the gate and they pass. Then you will see a black man will be interrogating another black man. Where you going? What you going for? So you tell me, what are we doing to ourselves? Are we really setting a good example as black so that discrimination can stop? Because if we set good example, if we are together, I think we will be respected. But for in some cases, where in the United States that you are giving some example, a white guy just walked and shot a black kid, and then at the end of the day, he will come about to say, I'm in self-defense. I mean, in those instances, now we black think and say, okay, those people don't like us. They don't want to see us. But what can we do for in order for them to like us? Or what can we do for us to be one? Like Abigail, we got some broad knowledge on life. She said something that if she walked to Ganta today with some white people, you will see that everybody will be like rushing to just go and shake the white man hand. But if she was to carry some black guys from Lofa or from Bomi, people will really have time for them. People will really give them attention because we are black, so we don't prioritize ourselves. So being that we don't prioritize ourselves, we realize that people who would think that no matter the feel that we are children of lesser God, in fact, we are black people. We live in Africa. We got everything in abundance. Yesterday, you will see black leaders who live and go be baking here and there. In fact, our leaders even go after things that we have. So at the end of the day, the people feel like those people they don't value themselves. You understand that? They don't value themselves. So how can we value them? You like somebody who don't like you already. They don't want to see you. They feel that when you are in their midst, they feel that you will contaminate them. That's their mentality. But then when blacks are together, You will see hatred will come about. You will see a lot of things to start to happen. See how blacks are killing each other in Africa. Go to Somalia, go to Sudan. See what is happening there. Not white, but they come and tell you, say, this is it, this is not good for you, and then we go by it. So my question is, are we valuing ourselves? Are we value ourselves so that other people can value us? Because once we see that this thing is good for us and we do it and they to understand that those people are up to their game and this is what they're doing and this is unique, you realize that, I mean, if a white man come to Liberia and cause problem, he'll be persecuted. He must be prosecuted according to the law. But at the end of the day, in Liberia, yeah, the Indian man got money. The Lebanese man got money. I don't have money. So I don't go to court with the Lebanese man. If I go to court with him, I will be found guilty. So that's my thought about this black discrimination. We talk about black discrimination all parts of the world. But are we valuing ourselves as black people when we act together? What are we doing? What message are we sending? So that people we complain of can stop what they are doing.
Okay, Mr. Korto, you said something. You said children of lesser God or God lesser, something like that.
Yes, children of we are like children of lesser God. That
Lesser
means,
God.
I mean, yeah, yeah. But
I, I
that's not the thing about us.
I like that. I like that. So as a Reverend Samuel, uh, is it correct that we are children of lesser God? Reverend, to unmute yourself. Reverend, you have to unmute yourself.
The same God who created the white man in his image, everyone is created, or everyone was created in the intellectual and righteous image of God. The white man is not better than the black man. But you see, our ideological coloring about ourselves, or even the ideological coloring of the white man about the black man, is just different. We are not children of lesser God. The white man needs us just as we need him. To answer your question.
Okay, thank you very much. I think you brilliantly answered the question by saying the logical coloring. That's good. Now let's speak to student leader Joe Tan. Come here, you have to unmute yourself.
Yeah,
You
okay,
have to
okay.
unmute yourself. You have to unmute yourself. You have to unmute yourself. Are you there? I think the conversation having some technical issue. So let's talk to student leader Ernest Dato. Hey, Comrade Ernest, this is lovely professional university, Indian #1 private university platform. Thousands Indians are following you. Your views, your analysis, your suggestions here will be taken into consideration. And we are happy to host you so that you can share with us your view, your thought that you feel as
It's
Black
a
men
pleasure.
being discriminated.
Thank you so much. And I'm grateful to all the panelists. When it comes to the issue of black discrimination, it's something that we need to look at very critically. I feel the problem that is resulting into the issue of black discrimination around the world is all because of lack of system in Africa, system not working for the black people. And when I say when I'm mentioning about the system not working for the black people, that means that there is no policy that is being set aside that will help to improve the living condition of the Black people in Africa. Let's take, for example, in Liberia, we lack of system. As such, you would always get the people from the US, people from Asia, all part of the world, you because you don't have a system in place. So when you do have a system in place, you're going to eliminate the issue of Black discrimination. Has always been discriminated is because we go in search of greener pastures to these white people country. Let me just give you a short scenario of what is unfolding now with my little brother
I come in. I
next to me. He's in
Nana Koto.
Nigeria right now.
Nana Koto, can you pull your mask up? And Joe Tano, you can pull your yes, try to pull your microphone off.
Oh no, I'll try texting it. That's why. All right.
So you got this guy living Liberia because he says that the system is not working for him in search of greener pastures. Interestingly, he went over to Algeria. Algeria is one of the areas that has serious level of racism, and it's an African country. Algeria have a very strong level of racism. So the reason you find these people leaving their country, leaving Africa and going over to other countries, being suffered and being discriminated is not because they are only Black. No, it's because the system from which they come from is not working for them. As such, they go. So it's almost like you begging someone. So you go to the person and asking them for assistance, and they will do anything they want to do with you. And one of the things that the Westerner needs to understand is that the color is the same. When I mean the color is the same, we were all made in the image and likeness of God. I'm from a Christian background, and my faith tells me that everyone was made in the image and likeness of God. They didn't say the Black were made in the image and likeness of God, and the white were made in the image and the likeness of gold or silver. We were all made in the image of God. And Black have always been discriminated in this thing. If we doesn't come together as young people to work on these things, what's going to happen is that it's going to pass over to our next generation. And our next generation is going to pass it over. High level of discrimination in the world have caused our people to be suppressed in so many ways, being suppressed in leadership, being suppressed in organization, and in all sectors of life. If you leave as a Black man from this country and go over to the US, and then you happen to marry and you brought a child over to the US, as long as that child has that Black color, that child will not get the full right as an American who has that white color. Let's look at the issue of George Floyd. George Floyd was someone that was born in California. And later he moved over to Texas. George Floyd, as I said from the previous stage a few days ago, the reason George Floyd was being killed was not because of the crime he committed. George Floyd was being killed because of the color. He was killed because of the color. George Floyd wasn't killed because of the crime he committed. For the matter of fact, the crime that we follow the story of George Floyd from start to end, and we gotta understand it was just something that he was accused of, which of course he didn't do. But he was being killed. The neck of that officer being placed on George Floyd's neck was all about high level of racism, high level of discrimination. So you have to press on that Black man's neck. Do you know that white people are pressing on the neck of Black leaders in Africa? We do have the savior. We do have to go. We have all of the natural resources it takes to make Africa the best we want Africa to be. But system is not working for us. The system is not working. And when the system is not working, people do anything. If you have your home, you're running your home, and you don't have a system in place, you're going to have a wayward children, and you're going to just do anything anyhow. You will get people going to move in search of their own food, because the system is not working. The system is not working. Why will you have a young man that is 30 and still living in his parents' house? It's all because of the system. So I feel the reason for which black have been discriminated around the world is all because of lack of system in these countries, most especially in Africa. We don't have system. And as long we don't have system in Africa, we will always being abused. People will always do anything they want to do to us because we don't have a system in place.
Okay. Comrade, thank you very much. You talk about job flow.
So I'm here. I'm here.
Comrade, you can unmute your mic. Okay, but student leader Vani, okay, not Vani, but Joe Tano.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's hear from you. Let's hear from you.
Thank you. Let me say a pleasant good afternoon from
Ernest, you can mute
Monrovia.
your mic. Mute your mic.
Am I live?
Your background, your background, your background. Try to control the background.
Am I live?
Okay, you can speak to us now.
All right. Thank you so much. Let me say a pleasant good afternoon from Monrovia. And it's a privilege being on this platform with several high-profile personalities. Let me use this time to salute Reverend Abasi, who's my spiritual father, by the matter of fact. Out of coincidence, we met on this platform at about this time. So I'm greatly honored sharing such a unique opportunity with him. And reading from his own expertise, his sensitivity, most especially from the religious side, it's a good thing to be here. The conversation is about black discrimination. Uh, since it is not a question as to what would be the remedy, since it is not a question as to what would be the remedy regarding the issue of discriminations against black, since it's just a conversation, then there are a few things that we talk to look at. Somebody spoke about the issue of self-value. I think it is one of the major issues. To most of us black, vast majority of us have lost the sense of self-value and self-priority. So it has been of a greater issue and concern. Are there blacks who are making headways, who are contributing immensely to the farmability of the world? Yes. One could be the likes of Kofi Annan. Kofi Annan is the first and only black in history to have served as the United Nations Secretary General. He's just from right next to Ghana. Are there people who stood the test of time ensuring that we have a free black society? Yes. The likes of Little Hector Peterson, whose reference to the issue of the Soweto uprising. If I were to reference you, I would still go to the likes of Rosa Parks, who's recorded in history as being the mother of the civil rights movement. In additional references, we have several other people that we can point out to who have contributed immensely. Popularly, we know Martin Luther King Jr., who's fought for the freedom of blacks in the United States. And today, some of what he spoke to is being manifested. I'm talking about a greater number. So, being a student of sociology, I see the issue of discrimination as a social issue because it affects a greater number of people. It should be very attended to at this time. But one thing we must see and give a greater priority to is that we need to create an atmosphere. We need to create an atmosphere as people and as a country and on a continent because greater number, though the issue of the black skin color is not very unique. It's not very unique to only Africa, but greater number of Africans are black. So if we were to draw a picture or do a statistical analysis or start, we are convinced that Africa is greatly affected once it comes to the issue of black. If you were to follow my recent advocacy, my fight to ensuring a Bobby Wine's presidency in the People Republic of Uganda, I advocated for Bobby Wine's presidency because I feel that for the last 25 years of Museveni rule, although he's a black, but for the last 35 years of his rule, he hasn't given a priority to the issue of pan-Africanism theory or philosophy. Museveni has aligned with the white in allowing the white to predominantly control the day-to-day activity of a country that should be squarely for the interest of the general group of the black people. That is the reason why many at times our advocacies are in line with the pan-Africanistic philosophy, meaning if we cannot place ourselves in a higher esteem. Today, if you were to visit Central Monrovia, vast majority of the homes, the bigger homes and the best of places are the ones that the whites are residing in. Why you got the blacks in the slums? The blacks are there in West Point, Nikuta, and those other slum communities, while the whites are unprospered, living in the tallest of mansions. Have we given ourselves a priority? Have we placed ourselves in a position where the white will see us as a major contender? Even in a game of soccer, many blacks are making history. Joshua could be one of our references. Joshua could be one of our references. We got the legs of Samuel Eto'o, TJ Jobai, and never the black people. Have we created an atmosphere where our leagues could be upgraded and allow the whites to see the need and find interest in running to us at every point in time? No. But we found pleasure in moving out to them. And because we found pleasure in moving out to them, that is the reason why they see us as second priority. They see us as less important. They see us as people who are of less value or lesser value. So in order to achieve needed desire in fighting for a balanced society, between the whites and the black, we must place ourselves in a greater position of priority. We must see the need. We must see the need to be courageous enough in knowing and to even reference the likes of Madam Salim, when we are referencing women who have contributed immensely to the farmability of this world, the entire universe. We must reference our own. We must reference our own. We must see our people who have contributed very much, so much in improving the livelihood condition of the entire universe as people who should be held in high esteem. But until then, I'm afraid. And that is the reason why we will continuously. Somebody just spoke about the issue of Algeria. Yes, I follow that situation very closely. The reason is simple, because people don't want to create an atmosphere where they could create self-opportunities in their respective African countries. But because they see the homes of the whites as paradise, as earthly paradise, that is the reason why the whites see us as people who cannot create a system that can absorb us and place us in a position where we can achieve what we want. So as part of that, that is the reason why we have to run to them. The last time, communist revolutionary Kwame Nkrumah fought for the freedom and liberation of the People Republic of Ghana in 1957. Specifically, when the people of Ghana gained their independence, the whites saw him as a tool. That could be used to infringe on the rights of his fellow black people. But interestingly, when Nkrumah resisted at a certain point in time and said, no, it is about time that Africa unite on a single emblem that has to do with Pan-Africanism, he started to recruit fellow black revolutionaries. And then we had the likes of William Narantama as our president. But then we had several other high-profile revolutionaries like the likes of Thomas Sankara and other people who fought for the African liberation, who fought for a balanced society that can see a white man and that of a black man sharing opportunities. The white went against Kwame Nkrumah and decided to place some extra bread on his shoulder. And that is the reason why later on Kwame Nkrumah had to create an atmosphere where he became a reasonable dictator. Yes. Even though the word dictator isn't a good word for any leader, but he became a reasonable dictator because he felt it was necessary to stand tall in the faces of the white oppressors. So we can compute. We are very good at doing all of what the whites are very involved with today. The issue of soccer, we are competing with on a daily basis. Today, we got blacks leading the soccer war, the likes of Sadio Mane, a few other blacks. We talk about politics. Yes, we are doing the sitting well. The likes of Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and several other presidents have come from Africa and with black complexions. If you talk about music, yes, we are doing exceedingly well. Vast majority of the greater musicians in the United States today, because the United States got the best of musicians, vast majority of them are black. The likes of Robert Kelly and all other persons that you can name, they are black people. They are the one leading the entertainment world in the United States. If you were to talk about the basketball, yes, Michael Jordan, the Michael Jordan who said the highest of history is a black person. But are we looking at those things as an achievement for us as black people? Or are we doing it to allow the whites to take the glory of what we are doing, in our respective places? Those are issues. Those are issues we might look at. I think we've got to rethink. We got to rethink. We got to draw back into our closets and see an Africa, and see our black complexion as of the highest, and it should be placed in the first quadrant. That is it.
Okay, comrade, I listened to our expose. I'm like overwhelmed that I had such a scholar who can detail about Africa. Comrade, Burton Jones, 26 years old Burton Jones. In the year 2018, he was seated on his sofa at home eating ice cream. Jones was shot by off-duty police officer Hamburg Guja. After she entered her apartment, she said that she thought Jones was intruder and killed Jones. Now she was supposed to be sentenced for 99 years, but this off-duty security, that she was not at duty, she was off duty, but she used the American gun on the basis of off duty to kill an American citizen. And then the penalty should have been 99 years in prison, but she was sentenced for 10 years in prison. Now let's speak to you as PRO of District Number 2. Now, let's look at Liberia Judicial Body. Can you tell me if this crime was going to be committed in Liberia, where you work in the legal system, because you work with legislator who makes law for our country? I can remember, I can quote you Article 27B of the Constitutions of Liberia, because we are talking about discrimination here. So if this crime was going to be committed in your purview, what could be your own talk, analysis, aspect this crime? Let me hear from you.
The point is simple. The point here is I have never, and I will never in my lifetime, in the history of my lifetime, support anything that has to do with murder. And as per the legal system, although I don't want to say I'm not kind of like trusting the Liberian legal system, because consistently I have been tested and proven that there are deficiencies on the part of our legal system. But again, what I want to say is that if such crime were to be committed here, I will obviously support that that person be dealt with in line with the laws. No one has the right to take the life of any other citizen, be a citizen of the same country or that. And no one has the right to in fact take life. That is just it. No one got the right to take life. So once it is a crime committed against whether of your same sex, whether of your same race, whether of your same nationality, or whether the person of the same continent, but the issue of every life must be protected to the core. So we know the legal system in Liberia is still being consistently tested. And what I can guarantee, or what I can assure, is that there is a need that we set our focus in ensuring that it can be given some time. And one thing we must also encourage is the issue of solidarity forces. We must also encourage the issue of solidarity forces. If you were to check my page, the last time I led hundreds of young Liberians to the United Nations headquarters, where we were calling on the United Nations to speedily intervene on the ongoing ill treatment against some Africans in their respective countries, like the issue of Guinea, the issue of Africans, and popularly the issue of Uganda. So we have been very consistent in ensuring that the laws take its course. So there must be solidarity forces. Mind you, if a legal system, whether or not it is proceeding on the right or rightful trajectory, whether or not it is proceeding on the right trajectory, we as young people, we as emerging leaders, we as young African revolutionaries must exhibit and get involved with the issue of expressing solidarity. If a judge were to sit at the Supreme Court of Liberia and intending to render judgment, in favor of anybody, whether or not it is his relative or it is as a result of a token that is to be accepted by him, if we should have at least 200, 300, or even 50 young people surrounding the temple of justice and insisting that the judge properly adjudicate the matter at hand, that judge would be under a moral obligation. That judge would be under that moral obligation. He will not have the need, he will not see the need, in fact, to wrongly judge. And for the fact that he's afraid, because mind you, lawyers are human, judges are human. They too have lives, they too have families to protect. So if they were to have any desire, to adjudicate any case as a result of self-favor and they see solidarity forces assembling, I didn't say you should assemble to create problem, but you can assemble to petition the judge, to call on the judge, to properly adjudicate the matter at hand. So that is it. We must learn to have solidarity and not just to be running after politicians every time. Not just to be running after politicians every time. I am a spokesperson for the lawmaker, for seated representative. But again, beyond being just a spokesperson for seated representative, there are times that we differ. There are times that we differ. There are times that we take situations and
comrade leader, we will come back to you. Here we have Beatrice Sunday, one of the female students at the State Running University of Liberia, student activist. Usually I call her my love because I feel that she's counted in our generation. And when our generation succeed, we will prioritize her. The reason is common because she's a female who usually love and have passion for education. So our duty, Beatrice, you are welcome to Lovely Professional University, the nation private #1 university platform. Let's hear it from you, your own view about Black discrimination. Okay, I think the internet is a problem for Beatrice. So, Reverend Abashi, let's go back to you. Now we're talking about African unity. African unity. Or what's your perception about African unity? Is it possible that the 52 African countries can come under one umbrella to make United Africa? Because in Africa, we have all of the resources. We have things that we can share in common. If only we can unite ourselves and beautify Africa. I don't think we will leave from Africa to go to Asia, to go to America, to go to Australia, to go to Europe. But how can we unite one Africa on a single umbrella to call United Africa?
Thank you. It is good to be frank to ourselves. My own way of looking at that is that I'm not trying to be negative because I'm not a negativist, but I don't think it's possible. And I will tell you, it is not possible because we have different cultural practices. Just imagine Guinea that is close to Liberia. The Guineans will feel different when they see you. We left from here during the war, went to Guinea, and we were mistreated. Leaving from Liberia, going to Guinea right here, with a laissez-passer or a passport. The Guineans are more technical on you than when they come here, because in Liberia, we know how to welcome strangers. Go to Ghana, go to Nigeria, go to Senegal. We allow the white man to use us against our brothers. Look at all the civil unrest that have taken place in Africa. The white man will bring gun to you or to us, use us to kill our own brothers. If someone should stand up in Africa, like the late Colonel Mohammed Gaddafi, standing up and advocating for African unity, that person becomes a threat for the white man. And I tell you something, George Bush Jr., because I heard somebody, I think my nephew Tarnue was talking about Madame Salif, discussing the legacy of Madame Salif. George Bush Jr. came here with 1 million books, and I was there when he pronounced Liberia as a country that was founded by free slaves from his country. In my mind, from my own analysis, anything that your slave owns, that thing is 2 times owned by you. So for Africa to be united, if it is possible for Africa to be united, we need to change our way of thinking. Someone discussed system. The black man in his mind always loved shortcut. We go to school, we bribe instructors to give us grades. We go to places, we don't want to follow system. We don't even love each other as Africans. If you were to live from here and go to a different country in Africa, just in Africa or West Africa, the Ghanaians will call you Liberian, they don't look at you as an African or they call you an alien. You go to Guinea the same way, you go to Senegal the same way. So I, as an individual, I see it very difficult for Africa to come honor, or for countries in Africa to come honor one umbrella.
Okay, thank you very much, Reverend. Reverend. Okay, let me hear from Abigail. Abigail, a few days ago, I keep seeing the post from you. Like the last time I saw something from you, analyzing about the by-election or something like that in nearby country. And seeing yourself as a young activist, looking at your standing point on social justice and equality, which of course you have been anticipating for. If God bless you and then go into the race and win the election to be part of the 54 legislatures in Liberia, what could be your own contribution to our legal system? Let me hear from you.
So thank you very much. And over the past time, you know that I volunteered as a social activist. As a matter of fact, I run the Alliance for Gender Justice and Human Rights, which is a network of grassroots activists dedicated to championing the cause for social justice and human rights in rural communities of Liberia. So the issue here about our justice system, like I always say, it needs to be overhauled in our Liberian terms. Meaning there need to be a lot of system put in place to see how justice can be implemented to the fullest of its ability as per the law that is written in the book. Because this law that I've been written were not written by you and I. It was written by people who believe that this law is diversity, this law should be let's just say should be respected, this law should be implemented. But over the past time, we noticed that our justice system has been corrupted. Our justice system has been undermined by few individuals. And because of that, there are a lot of issues surrounding human rights violation, the issue of rape and sexual abuses. And many of these crimes are also perpetrated by foreigners, like the issue with the Indians, the issue of the Lebanese, and other nationals who comes to Liberia to trade on a daily basis. So I'm fortunate to go at the level of the legislature. We're going to make sure that a bill be passed at the level of the legislature. So let's just say a bill that have to do with the issue of human rights, to see how it can serve as a legal framework between the justice system and the legislature, that bill going to be monitored on a daily basis, and that bill going to govern the workings of those who we feel that have the jurisdiction to implement justice to the fullest. Because all of these legal framework that have already been, let's just say, created at the level of the judiciary, they are not being implemented. So that bill going to remind them, this policy was crafted so and so year. This policy need to be implemented. It will just serve as an agreement between the Justice Ministry, the legislature, and the Liberian people. It will also serve as a bridge between the various branches of government to make sure that the framework, that legal framework, be implemented. That's the major thing, because we already have a lot of laws in Liberia. When it comes to rape, we have a strong law. When it comes to this other thing, we have a strong law. There are a lot of strong laws that we have in Liberia. But the reason that we are not seeing the effect of those laws because they are not being implemented. So that's why, as a young activist, if I manage to go at the level of the legislature, we have to see how we can convince our colleagues at the level of the legislature to see how we can create an agreement which will serve as a reminder or a framework between both between both branches of government, that all of these laws that are written on the papers be implemented to the fullest. That's one of the main things we're going to look at. And one of my main stuff I'm going to work on at the level of the legislature is the issue, not just racial discrimination, right, but the issue of gender discrimination in Liberia and the issue of human rights.
Okay, okay. Abigail, uh, after having all of these things that you listed to do when you are opportune to be elected as lawmaker of district number one, Neighbor County. But Abigail, we keep seeing a lot of young people from the same constituent or anticipating or declaring their interest in the same race or in the same election with you. And you are there as a young person. So what are you doing to bring all of those guys with the same, hope, the same perception, the same belief under one umbrella so that you guys can
Thank
unify yourself, be under one umbrella to see how best you guys can vote against the other people?
Thank you so much. So other people might be concerned, oh, we diverting and other stuff. So I think it's just a little shifting out of question, but in subsequent time, I think we'll get back on course to the purpose that we are on this platform for. So that's a good question. What we have done, we are succeeding in building a one youth community. And in building a one youth community, we have reached out to all of the candidates between the ages of 18 to 35 that are participating in the election. Sorry, between the ages of 25 to 35 that are participating in the election, because as per the youthful age in Liberia is 35 and below. So we have decided to reach out to all of them, and the message is resonating well. From the onset, we have about 10 young persons venturing forward to participate in the election. But now, if we check in number, we have less than 4%. So that tells you that we are making maximum progress, and we will keep doing that on a daily basis to make sure that we come under one umbrella. Because the same thing we are talking about black discrimination. If we want to effect change as young people, as African, it's about time we build a united front, because we cannot be disunited and then we come forth to effect change. Our change will not really our coming together will build the strength. Our coming together will make people to understand that we are more serious. But trust me, if we are disunited, if we form different fronts coming together to fight, our fight will not make maximum progress like we want it to be. Like the issue of George Floyd, one of the speakers mentioned that a few handful of black people who have sat maybe in Minnesota, who have gone in DC, just few handful of black people to protest, the message wouldn't have resonated well around the world. But the people, because they were united, they were able to build a united front, and they were also able to build solidarity forces all around the world that stood up with them, and together they were able to make maximum progress. From the George Floyd protests, they were able to show to the world that this marginalization, this suppression, this murdering of young people have happened for decades, and our system had decided to suppress the information. But with the help of these activists, these civil rights activists that group themselves together and mobilize the community hugely, the world were able to witness the issue of black discrimination,
Okay,
bringing
okay,
from
okay,
every instances that happened in the last year to the current George Floyd situation.
okay, Abigail, thank you very much. Let's just hear from Beatrice and before we pack up, because we will be closing this platform by 7 o'clock Indian time. So let's hear from Beatrice. Beatrice, are you there? Okay, Django guys will be taking part in comment, 2 minutes for each speaker, and we will be closing with the Reverend. The Reverend will be the last one to close our debate today, and we hope that you guys join tomorrow by exact 12, not 12, but 11:35. 11:35 will be the best time for you guys to enjoy the debate. So, let's hear from Mr. Korto. 2 minutes parting comment.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. Bowman, thank you very much. Thank you to all of the debaters. Thank you for the opportunity, especially Comrade Africa. Uh, Let me say this to the world. Blacks, for me, I feel that I feel that not being a human being when I see other blacks being killed, other blacks being discriminated for no reason, simply because we are black. So I want to say this as a message, sending it to the world that we are all important. Like the Reverend said, we are born equally. We are made in the image of God. So please, I'm saying this to my brothers and sisters around the world who are white. When you see me, you should just take into consideration that you are seeing yourself. So please, we are begging people around the world to stop discrimination. Once we stop discrimination, the world will be a better place. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's hear from Ernest.
Okay, again, I want to say thanks to everyone that have been following this platform. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to share my own experience as it relates to the issue of Black discrimination in Africa. Uh, I will keep saying this over and over and again that we need to help in making the system to work. If we want to fight against the issue of Black discrimination around the world, we need to make the system work. One way in which we can make the system to work is to elect new leaders that have new vision. Because I believe those past leaders are in the 50, they are already in the second half. They have tasted how leadership is like, and they haven't done well for us. So this is what I plan to do with my life, that I will not vote anyone that is above 35 because I believe they are in a second half and they haven't done well for the people. So if we focus on voting for people from 25 to 35 with new vision that have seen the need to liberate the people of Africa, to liberate the people, most especially in my country, Liberia, we're going to change things around. And to finally close, we need to attach value to ourselves. We need to attach value to ourselves. We make the system work, we attach value to ourselves. And when we do that, I can tell you for free, we will get the Americans, we'll get the Lebanese, we'll get all these people around the world that will come to Africa in search of greener pasture and not us going to that. Let's make the system work and it's going to be better. Thank you so much for the time before.
Okay, Abigail, parting comment.
Okay, thank you so much. From the onset of this discussion, I think I have said it all. And if you look at the historicity of this whole discrimination and everything, it started way, way back in the 1500s or something, where Europeans came to Africa and they brought the war slave to us because we did not make that war. They brought the war slave to us because they came, they collected our black strong men and women and they forced them to labor for them to build all of the estates and everything you see in their country today. So the issue of this discrimination is real. And as young people, I think it's about time in our history we stand up to see how we can push the issue of black discrimination on a wide scales at the level of our continent, even at the level of the diaspora that some of you guys find yourself in. Because, like I always say, as young people, we have the power to change the world. And this generation, things might seem okay, but the next generation, it might even be worse than us. The next generation, if you don't mind, black women who are qualified will be forced to do domestic job while white women do the white collar job. So if we don't stand up for what is right, we're going to be missing out. In South Africa, the people went through the same discrimination issue, and it took like-minded Africans like us, young people, to stand up, like the Soweto uprising during the apartheid. It took young people like us, students, between the ages of 15 to 35 years who stood up and championed the cause. And because of the Soweto uprising, the whole world got attracted to the situation that was going on in South Africa. We should not just think this issue of discrimination happening only in the diaspora, because if we're not careful, it will start to decentralize from one country to another. And what we saw in South Africa able to happen in Liberia, for the fact that we got other nationals coming to Liberia and residing here on a daily basis. And most of our African leaders are corrupt. They agreed it. And many of them gonna give these people legitimate rights to our country when there's dual citizenship and other stuff being passed. And when those laws are passed that give those people right to live in our country and have properties just like us, trust me, that's gonna give birth to high level of discrimination and marginalization. And if we don't stand up, it's gonna go with us for decades. And trust me, I'm not prepared to be a subject in my own home country. That's why as young people, we have to take the mantle of authority and effect change. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Rob. Okay, now Reverend, will I come? Hello, Reverend. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, Reverend. Can you speak for us?
Thank you for this platform. I feel honored to be part of this discussion. My first confession is that the picture that was created on my mind before concerning India is different, and I must admit that. I'm praying and really working for my two daughters to join you sooner or later in India. We need to change our mind and our way of looking at things. My own advice to the young people of this generation is that do not allow the white man to use you against your brother, especially those of you that have political ambition. Do not allow anybody to use you, anyone with white collar, to use you against your brother. I pray that one day Bobby will graduate and come here and become and head the Supreme Court, and we will repeal some unnecessary laws and put in laws that will give Liberians right to do their own business and to enjoy their own country. Our way of looking at Africa should be changed. The black man loves the white man's country, but loving our own countries, to me, will help us develop this country, because in Liberia, I will speak of Liberia, when you give anyone enough money or huge amount of money, the next thing they want to do, or if they are empowered, the next thing they want to do, they want to go to the white man's land, buy a house or houses, live there, develop the white man's country. But if we will change that and develop love for Africa, for our own country, especially for Liberia, to me, we will do better things. We need to love one another as Africans. When I leave from my country and go to another country, the only thing I should not do is to commit crime, but I should be free and I should have free movement. Thank you for this platform. I pray to be part of it tomorrow, and not only tomorrow, anytime you can call upon me. We are encouraging young people, even at the level of the University of Liberia, to join you in India, so that our country, let me say, our next generation will be well educated and our country will be better off. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, guys. Like the Reverend said, one thing I can tell the young people from the philosophical analysis of Nelson Mandela, he said when the minds are educated, the nation stands to gain. So at Lovely Professional University, we offer 50% scholarship to all Africans. So if you want to get to Lovely Professional University, you can get in contact with us, you can get in contact with me, and your process will be done very, very professionally. So I hope to see you guys tomorrow again. And God bless you all. Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
It is finished.
It's not mad. Yadre? Yadre?